and we're going to try to share a message on heaven. There's Jason. He knows them. he knows the outline, I'm sure. It's one of our few shorter sticks. It's one of the few sermons that we still preach, that we preached, a long time ago. I could say 50 years, but probably not hardly that far back. And enjoyed Sunday dinner today. We had a special treat with Deidre and the girls there. And so I'm preaching this sermon tonight for she and myself, and I hope you enjoy it. But I did change my mind after Sunday dinner, and I pray the Lord's in it. It's a fun sermon normally. Of course, you never know. I'll say that, and then everything go wrong. And I was at homecoming at Sardis Springs, my home church, about 10, maybe 12, 15 years ago. And I preached this sermon on heaven, and I got carried away. Man, you talk about, I was having the time of my life, and I was just thinking, boy, people are going to be blown away. They're going to be just, awed. And June was there waiting as soon as I walked out. And she said, "Do you know what you've done?" I said, "No, ma'am." She said, "You preached 55 minutes and they're waiting to eat lunch." And sure enough, boy, they hit them doors. And so we don't have any supper out there tonight. But we are going to be more careful tonight. We're going to try to watch that clock. And I even went over it this evening and engineered it, a little, and cut out some things. Dallas Willard, the apologist who was a professor at Southern Cal and wrote The Divine Conspiracy and other books, the last person to talk to him before his departure, I think in 2013, was his granddaughter, his only granddaughter. And the last things he said to her before he went into surgery, high-risk surgery, he said, "Honey, give them heaven." So that's what we want to try to give you tonight, just a little bit of heaven. In 1986, along with a delegation from the state of Alabama, I was a part of a team, went to Nigeria in the elbow of Africa on the west side. And I'd never been out of the country. I was in my late 30s, somewhere in there. And I had to put a hat over my face on the flight to Atlanta because I was about to tear up. I was homesick. I wasn't even to Atlanta. It got worse, folks. I was not a good missionary. And I'll never forget the last day before we flew out, they're having a church service, and I'm back on the back wall, and I'm doing the cage line thing, pacing back and forth. I know you've never seen that before. And so, which is not the right thing to do when you're overseas. You don't want to show an anxiousness to get home. That's offensive to them. So I realized I wasn't a very good missionary. I bought a brand new 32 millimeter camera. Didn't know that much about taking pictures, and man, I just was snapping everything everywhere. Come back, put my closet together, had my little slideshow. Nobody was very impressed. I wasn't either. After a couple of presentations, I said, "This is not working." You cannot describe to them, and those slides do not do an adequate job at telling them what Africa's like. If they want to experience Africa, they need to go. And that's the way you would find out about Africa, is go there and take a trip. Now, none of us have been to heaven and are to come back to report about it. And so we don't know very much about heaven. The Bible tells us some things. In general, we're going to read about those tonight. Revelations chapter 21, we're going to read about some of them. And then we'll say a few things about heaven. I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the old heaven and the old earth had disappeared, and the sea was also gone. I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, like a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud shout from the throne, saying, look, God's home is now among his people. He will live with them, and they will be his people. God himself will be with them, and he will wipe every tear from their eyes. And there will be no more death, no sorrow, no crying or pain. All these things are gone forever. And the one sitting on the throne said, look, I am making everything new. And then he said to me, write this down, for what I tell you is trustworthy and true. And he also said, it is finished. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To all who are thirsty, I will give freely from the springs of the water of life. And all who are victorious will inherit all these blessings. And I will be their God, and they will be my children. Let's pray together. Father, thank you, Lord, for these beautiful words and encouraging words to us as we think about heaven, a place where there is no death and there is no sickness and there is no sorrow. And Lord, I pray you'll open our minds and our hearts tonight and let us get a glimpse of heaven. Now, John, in a vision, stuck his head through the portal of heaven, and he got a glimpse of heaven. And Lord, give us a glimpse of heaven, and only you can do that. And Lord, I pray that your Spirit would enable us to see a little bit